Hi guys, we are back again with another episode of
EntrepreNugents.
We're gonna laugh every time we say that.
Yeah, EntrepreNugents. Okay, all right. I saw some of your comments. We know we haven't been doing good on time. I know it, and I take full blame. So let's see how this one goes. I make no promises. There's a lot happening.
There is a lot. So.
But let's see how this one goes. As usual, the week, Monday is how it all works. 5:30 Central Standard Time, 6:30 in the East, 3:30 in the West. How it all works. Check it out. Okay, so this past Monday, wow, YouTube. The YouTube revolution will be televised. That was the actual title for Monday's discussion. We had a panel of YouTubers on there, and fam, let me tell you something. Wow.
Some heavy hitters, okay?
So it was a really eclectic crew, totally different channels, but really good content in terms of if you're looking to grow, these guys have grown in multiple different ways. With Wilson World, they went viral before they were even ready, so they had to actually get the platform created. And then they had to learn how to grow on YouTube because YouTube wasn't really growing for them. They had massive following on Instagram and Facebook, but then YouTube wasn't working. And then they got one piece of advice, which I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch the show for that. They had one piece of advice, and they're now like 100 and almost 200,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're starting a whole new academy. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. It was a phenomenal show, wow. Yeah, all right. So how it all works is off and running, and we're excited about what that will mean for us. As the show continues to gain popularity, so does our not popularity, but I guess notoriety is really the term. Like, that people are looking to us as authority figures in that space, not necessarily for YouTube, but how it all works. And that's the reason for branding the channel the way that we did. It's because we do want people to come to us to understand, okay, how do I run a show? What's funny is, and you're gonna see this happen now that I say this, you will start to hear people say how it works or how it all works or some version of how it works all week long now.
Yep.
I see it in video, in TV, in movies. I see it everywhere. So how it all works, it's a catchy phrase, and it's just the branding of it, everything, it's coming together. So excited about that.
Yeah. This week, we also got to help out the entrepreneurs here in Huntsville that we've been collaborating with. You've heard us talk about them before. They have a podcast that they're about to launch. So there are some things that they needed to kind of tweak in regards to their social media, and that's where we kind of helped them with that, and also with their website. So was able to assist them with that, and it was nice to be able to give them something in return for all that they've poured into us.
Word.
So that was really good, trying to help them get themselves situated.
Right, and as we stay, this is the entrepreneur's journey, right? So that's the other piece of it is like, on the next week on the show, we're gonna have a panel of entrepreneurs. So today, Friday, I actually did a couple of previews with the different panelists from that show because every one of them have a wealth of knowledge to share, and it's just so phenomenal what they're doing. But that's the piece that was a recurring theme, is that every entrepreneur is so willing to work with and assist other entrepreneurs. And it's not so much from the standpoint of I need to make money, but you get so much benefit from their experience. So when it comes around time for them to benefit from yours, you don't have any problem assisting. So this was good for us to be able to give back because they really poured into us. Throughout the week, I met with a good friend, DJ Batiste, about doing a live stream for his piano school. So the leader of the piano school is supposed to get in touch with me later on, maybe next week. A couple of people booked sessions with me to do live stream training. The people that I told you booked and didn't realize that they needed to pay, and then they paid me for the half hour, they have rebooked, and so I'm scheduled to go through that with them, or not scheduled, I went through that with them this past Wednesday. Man, it was a crazy week in terms, I met with Evan Morsell about some ideation. He just gave me some really, Evan, I don't know if you're following this joint, but bro, that ideation session was sick. Everybody needs that. You need to be able to bounce ideas off of folks, and especially if if you have a relationship with them, that's even better. But in my and Evan's case, we know each other through a mutual friend, Pierre Quinn, and it just worked. I think he kind of gets a feel for what I'm trying to do, and he was able to give me some really good feedback.
Yeah.
So again, creating that network, creating those circles, having conversations with people who are not necessarily doing the same exact thing as you, but on the same path, absolute gold when it comes on to entrepreneurship.
This week we made a very important decision in regards to our children.
Yes.
This is something we never saw ourselves doing.
Ever.
With the pandemic and the way how things are going, we have decided to officially homeschool our children.
Homeschool, fam. On top of God help us. I don't even know. Maybe we need to change it from EntrepreNugents to like, I don't know. What could go wrong, Nugents? I don't know. There's just so much that we're trying to achieve at home. So home is like ground zero. Everything is happening from home. Work, school, piano lessons, parties, Zoom, everything. It all happens here at home. And home is also our studio where we're recording on.
And now school on top of that.
And it's school. Lord help us.
So it's something we weren't looking forward to doing, but we think it's necessary at this time. And we think our kids are pretty good at it so far, because they did well when we fell into it in March.
Yes, fell in.
They handled it pretty well. So I think with our guidance, we can help them to be successful. And it's a very important decision because we will be helping them grow educationally. And that's something we don't take lightly. So pray for us as we go forward in this new direction that God has placed upon our hearts. And I think we can do it.
Yeah. Found a really good program, Alpha and Omega, and we're going to work with them. And you keep us in prayer, definitely.
Yes.
I had, I told you about a speaking engagement that Egu Wangpa, our good friends, put me onto. In fact, this is a side note, on the show on Monday, his wife Saba will be on the show, on the Entrepreneur Show, on the Entrepreneur Panel. And so looking forward to that. But they put me onto this thing. So we had a prep session for the speaking engagement, which is next week. I'm so excited for it. I have done virtual speaking, I've done speaking, but at this level of the game, I don't know. Hopefully it's the same. I intend to prepare, and then just knock it out of the park. So keep that in prayer as well. That's coming up, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll let you know how that goes. That same day that we had the prep session, I had the second episode with Message Magazine's podcast. Yeah. So the second episode that was yesterday, by the way, Thursday. The second episode of the Message, second time that I and Dr. McNeil were on there, talking about the digital divide and all the different things coming up pertaining to the pandemic and everything like that. It was just good. I mean, we had a great time. I know they couldn't have us back a third and fourth, but I am like kind of nudging Claudia, like, oh, so what? When am I coming back?
Because it was so good. It was so good.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It was a packed week. I don't know. I know you have more stuff. I've got one or two more.
I do. So this week, I finally closed a contract with a client that was very difficult to work with.
Right.
This client, thank God for having a contract and being able to stick to that contract and showing that this is what is agreed. This is the work that was agreed upon, and I will not be stepping beyond that.
Yeah.
And
lessons learned, man.
Lessons learned. Like, oh my goodness. So long story short, the client came back saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and close the contract. So at this point, the way how things ended, I was like, I don't even think I'm going to get paid. But you know what? Thank God I'm done with this contract. I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Right.
So I still did what I typically do when I close a contract. I did through the launch email that I sent to the client, sent them the invoice and everything. And I was like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if they pay, whichever. I mean, we got the half up front anyway. We just figured, take the L.
Yeah.
But
And I did it as professionally as I usually do, and they actually paid.
look at that.
I was shocked. I was completely shocked. I was like, they actually paid. Hallelujah. Thank God for it, because we could use the money. But yeah, definitely what I learned was have your contract, stick to that contract.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. You got to have a contract.
Yeah, you that planning at the beginning of the business relationship between you and the potential client or a client is so critical, because it sets the guardrails for everything that you will interact and do. And if both mutually want to make some changes to those guardrails, then you can go back and revisit. But when one wants to make major changes and the other doesn't, then it's good, because you can both go back to the guardrails and say, we agreed on these. We can either continue like this, or we can terminate.
Yeah.
And just go our separate ways amicably, because we both know we agreed here. That situation could have gone way worse, and we just praise God that it happened the way that it happened. I also feel like there's a component of them not really understanding what was being asked.
Yeah.
And how out of scope it was. So I'll leave it there. Right. I'll leave it there. But without going into details, it's just, these are learning experiences. I mean, I'm glad Kanique is sharing this one, because again, it's not every time that it's going to be a slam dunk. It's not every time, so we try to share the highlight reel. But I guess because we're blogging through this thing, we really need to be telling you about some of the lows.
Yeah.
and this was one of those where we both kind of talked it through, prayed it through, and was like, let's send them the final message.
Definitely prayed on it.
When that message came back with them saying we're going to terminate, I was like, wow, that's not what we expected, not what we wanted, but it is what it is. So business, this is how it goes. I mean, this is how it all works. This is how these are some of the pitfalls, some of the things that you run into. Go ahead with one more. I only have one more.
I also was able to help my mom. So my mom teaches at an Adventist school. She teaches music, but she has what would I say? Her immune system is not the greatest. So we don't want her, immune compromised. So we don't want her having to go into the classroom. So I was able to talk with her through a couple things that she can do if she's able to do it from home. So just kind of chatted about the different software that she can use, tripods that she can use to help her efficiently teach her classes. So we're going to assist her more with that when the time comes for her to actually start teaching again. And we'll see how that goes. But it was really nice being able to help my mom with her. And also, she also needed help with her business, because she does teach business privately. So this will also fall into that as well, where she can use some of these tools with her teaching as well. Yeah.
I as I mentioned before, every time that somebody refers me to someone else, I'm just so appreciative. Working with Myron Edmonds on that men's conference a week or so ago was just, it was amazing. Because it continues to yield fruit. So this week, I had a call from someone who had been looking for whoever had produced that show. Hey man, I just got your number. Are you the one that produced that show? I'm like, yeah. Man, that thing was phenomenal. I need to put you in touch with these other folks. They're looking to do something similar. Got in touch with them, and so I met with them today. Kind of an initial feel out type of meeting. I'm going to meet with them again next week to figure out, if it's a good fit, and what types of services they would be looking for. Whether they'd want a full live stream package, or if they want me to produce the actual show. But we'll see what happens. I don't even know. It sounds like it's an evangelistic series, so we'll see what happens. I say show, but all these live streams, it just bleeds right into the whole broadcast production engineer type stuff, and so I say show, but it's interchangeable. But yeah, that kind of concludes it for me. That was the week. I know I shared a lot, and Kanique has one more, but it's just like I tried to consolidate some of them together. There is quite literally too much to share on a week-to-week basis, because it's almost like the floodgates are open right now, and I know that this roller coaster we're riding higher, but it's gonna die down some. So we want to squirrel away some stuff in preparation for those slow moments. But yeah.
One last thing. So I remember we talked about a friend of ours, the Francis family, that also opened their business and asked us to do their website.
Yes.
We launched the website.
That's so cool.
It's live. So definitely check out turftributes.com.
Turf Tributes.
Yes, they do
Turf
yard
Tributes.
greetings. So if you're looking to have like a special moment or you want to put some signs up in your yard, definitely check them out. turftributes.com.
Big shout out to Jamie and Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, Turf Tributes.
So excited for them, man. That's awesome.
Excellent. I mean, just the business plan, the whole idea, the concept, very unique. Definitely see them pushing forward with that, and just excited that they are taking a bet on themselves.
Yeah.
It's just, and as we wrap it up, there's nothing better, in my opinion, than taking a bet on yourself, investing in yourself, giving yourself an opportunity and a chance to go the distance for a little while. And some of you who are thinking about taking the entrepreneurship journey and you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do to prepare? Start saving. Put aside some money. Try to have 6 months, and then begin to build the framework for your business while you're still at your 9 to 5. Look into the LLC or the sole proprietorship. Look into some of these pieces. They're not hard to do. In fact, watch the show on Monday, how it all works. Because we have a panel full of entrepreneurs, and they're going to be talking about some of these things. But you'll be surprised at how easy it is to get the business set up, even though if you're not making any money.
Yeah.
But to have it in place, get your accounting in place, get your billing and your invoicing in place. That has been one of the major surprises for everybody that I work with. When they're like, book an hour of consulting and I send them the invoice and they can pay it online, and they're like, what? Man, you guys are official. I'm like, no, we are in business. I mean, let's be clear. Official is official, but if you're gonna be in business, you need to be in business, fam. It shouldn't be a Cash App kind of a scenario. I'm sorry. I know some of you might be Cash App folks out there, and if you're doing the side hustle bit, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the babysitting kind of thing. Cash App it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need invoicing for that. But if you want to step out there for real, like you want to bid on some stuff,
Yeah, you gotta come professional.
man.
Yeah.
The opportunity with Egu, it would not have happened if we were not an official business.
Yes.
Because some of when you get to certain levels of the game, they're not gonna work with the lean-to, not looking at the shade treatment joint. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be official. That's okay. That's free. I'm done. But the gist of it is, things are going well as can be expected. We are learning. I mean, we are literally students. We are sharing these things with you and experiences, and I'm hoping that it's meaningful. And again, I apologize for talking too much.